Hey, how are you?
Oh, good. How you doing?
Doing good.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Ah, it's okay.
I still have...
Hey, thanks, Sam. Had a good holiday. Definitely. Thank you. Last L&L. So I got 2 streams left in 2021, tonight and tomorrow night. Last L&L of the year tonight, and last RPG tomorrow night. So it'll be cool. Let's see what we got here. Whew. Let's hide that. See everyone.
Back in here, so I close the door because my TV out there. Hope it doesn't hear too much.
Not yet, Dewey. Not yet. Not yet. Good to see you. Sparky, aloha. Good to see you all. What's up, Mike?
Oh, we started already.
Yes,
Yeah,
we started.
Well, it's 7:45. I usually start preludes. We're good. Don't worry. No rush.
Yeah.
Hey, no problem. No problem, Lando. Lurk away. Coffee. And a goal. Hey, Sinekin.
Getting something done, so it's...
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. It's been a long slog, but I'm finally getting there, so... I realize I have a lot of stuff more to do, but that will never go away, but like I want to put this map edition behind me, but it's probably another 6-8 weeks before I get it done, so then I'll take a week of vacation somewhere around towards Gary Park or something. I'll take But on the other hand, it's rainy here, so it's been a perfect city. Listen, you're not supposed to go out and meet anybody anyway, so...
Yeah, it's getting kind of crazy again, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we kind of... Good time to sit home and map, so I can't complain.
plus 10 broadsword. Love that name.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, plus 10 broadsword. Yeah, that's awesome. There's so many awesome names and usernames that people have.
Yes, and they're all better than a lot of my group names in my campaign.
Oh, a band name, even better.
Asher the Bear. Yes. So cool. I get pre-game nerves every time I'm running a game. A little bit, yeah.
So Lando's running Star Wars. It's certainly not a coincidence.
No, that's very
playing
true.
Psy there, sure. And that's a game that I can't figure. It's complicated. So, well, you should kick off a Greyhawk campaign first of the year. Absolutely.
Might I recommend Cold of the Sea Princes?
Yeah, I mean, you can play every single UK game out there, and you can play Gargoyles, too. Oh, sorry. Gargoyle.
The Fools.
So I got a surprise for everyone here. Well, maybe it's on a giveaway. So, if I can find
Simple Dome Evil 5e. That's something that I might end up doing in the near future.
Hey, Bones! Oh, Devin's playing tomorrow night. Woohoo! With Anna.
Yeah, a whole bunch of people.
There you go, see?
Mike Disney, Taryn.
Steven, see, you got here. See?
Yeah.
You got here. A new Discord person met through Facebook. There, you made it. Right, Prelude still coming up.
Yep.
People still rolling in. Of course, I need to pull something. Some Serpent spots. Oh, I have time. Do that next week. I'm talking to myself, that's all. Ignore me. That's not it. Oh, Northern Lights, trust me, I hit wrong buttons every show. As everyone knows, so don't worry about it.
Especially during the giveaway.
Especially during the giveaway.
Yes, that's the new thing now. You turn them on and off 3 more times. Yep. That's you
Yes.
on the show. Yep.
What's up, Mike? It's actually good to see you. Here, I'm gonna start this up now, just so while I have a second. But I got a surprise for everyone.
Uh-oh.
No, it's a good surprise.
Okay, good.
But I can't find. I thought it was for a picture of it, and I can't find it. That's all right. Tonight. Oh, Doc starts it off. I'm giving away something super special left over from a show tonight with a certain level hype train. I'll just say that right now. It's a good one. It's really good. So, in addition to the normal ones. So, see if we get there. That's two. Already starting it up. Oh boy. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, that's weird. My popped out chat box had stopped working.
Portals. Thank you, Justinas. Portals tonight, everyone. Portals. Something tonight, this will be a good one. If you were on, I got one thing left over from the Fantasy Mapping Show giveaways, and it's a doozy.
No cannonball. We're not talking portholes.
Oh, Troy! Boing! Wow, Troy.
Troy.
Oh, there it goes. Ding, 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 ding.
Troy.
We're talking about portholes, but yeah.
Yeah.
But some don't have portholes. More than maybe
No,
one at the
no.
top. Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, we're already.
Actually,
Wow.
it's
All right, we're almost there. We complete a
Just
level
dangle.
3. We complete a level 3, and I got a special giveaway to add tonight.
See,
So there you
level
go.
up
We're almost
before
there
you
already.
start.
He just
Yeah.
dangles that stuff out there.
I got. Yeah.
Like-
Hey.
It's like piranha. They just bounce on it.
Oh, there goes. Oh, there. All right, so we gotta complete the level 3. We're close. We got time.
Wow, level up before we even start.
Leveling up before. Oh my gosh.
Boys.
Troy's Troy's going great. Oh, see, I hit the wrong button. It started coming on the screen. Good evening, everyone. And look, you can't even see you because I
I'm
started
somewhere.
before.
Thumbs up.
There we go. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Dill. Sure. I'm J. Killer Gazumba. Welcome. Hope you're all doing well. This is our last Legends and Lore of 2021, and with me, as always, is
Made
the
it.
great map maker Anna Meyer and the
Hello.
legendary blogger. He did one blog in the last 4 months, right?
Yeah, you passed it.
Legendary.
So that's
Legendary.
awesome.
Greyhawk Mike Bridges. So
Man,
welcome
the
everyone for a really cool discussion tonight, and out of my complete comfort zone, way out of it.
No. You have used portals. You have
There's no
used
way
them in
that's how
your
it's
campaign, I'm
coming
sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So welcome everyone, as people are still rolling in here, and I just wanted to say, hey, it was really cool that we have someone using new tech tonight, and that as he just came on for the first time, met through Facebook. So give everyone Northern Light 64, Stephen, a welcome, and then also
welcome.
I'll say this a
Yeah,
couple.
you see it?
Yeah, it's good to. There's the ever mysterious Tim. Tim, I got the banner done for your game next Saturday on the January 8th. So there we go. So we made it. So we'll go over the giveaways in a second. But 2 things. I'm gonna say this multiple times, and if you haven't heard, condolences, Leia Kim, if you know him. He's been around a while. He passed on Christmas. Sorry to hear it. He was a really nice guy. Was DM'd a game, and he had some trouble and issues, and it's really sad to hear that.
I'm glad to have got to play some Greyhawk with him
You did?
in recent months. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
In Rich's game.
Yeah, very, very good to hear that you were able to do that. So it's great to to have some good memories. It's a shame when something like that happens. We were all. So a lot of people were upset about it. It was like when Len passed. Len LaCoffey hit us all with a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Let's just concentrate on the good memories. And that's it's the holiday season. It's difficult, but sorry to hear it. And I'll say some more about that a little later. So tonight, the giveaways are going. So what I'm going to do is you get your choice. 2 of them. This is the normal one. All right. I'll let you choose if you win. You want treasures or the Greyhawk Adventure that begins. And we're talking portals, so I just pulled Mordecai's Fantastic. These are reprints or Shokanth. All right, you get your choice. But here's the big one. Now that Troy, thank you so very much, Troy, popped this all up beyond a level 3 hype train. I have a in-print rare copy version still that was not given away. Castles and Crusades with shipping. Castle Keeper's Guide to you. Okay, and that's the big one. So we're going to do that. We'll add that in. So I know someone will want that.
It's like a physically big
Physical with the honorary cover, right?
Oh.
Yeah, that's the big giveaway. So that'll be the
That has it.
yeah. Well, some people may have it, and the Castle Crusades people. I know a lot of people don't. So that'll be the big one tonight. The Castle Keepers Guide from my sponsor Troller Games. But that'll be the add-in with shipping. It covers it with the code and all that. So those will be the two, and then you never know on that. So I'm going to say thanks, and I hate to do this, but I'm going to say thanks to Zarathon, Josh Poppers on. Kind of helped me out tonight.
Hurts to say.
It does hurt to say that, doesn't it? And that's, I'm just kidding. But he directed me to this post, and thank you for the follow there. And if you haven't followed already, Northern, just hit that heart button, and I'll get you on the follow list. As we just surpassed 7,000, already up to, 7,032. Things are rolling along.
It just started.
This is a post, Portals of Earth, that was on the Piazza. So I got
there you go. Awesome.
Directed me to it. So I got cheating information tonight.
Good deal.
So, Zombie Mitch, great to see you, man.
Oh,
yeah, we're good. If we complete a 5, then you know what? I'll split these into 2, and we'll do 3 giveaways, which we'll get it. So there you go. So we'll make it a full 5, level 5 hype train. We'll do the whole thing. We'll do all 3. We're going to be there. Either way, we'll do it. Don't worry about it at this point. So, what do you? And the initial talk here, portals. What's your first thing that comes to mind on a portal discussion?
Every decent fantasy campaign should have portals to some cool place, so to speak. It's a cool way to put some spark into a campaign. You can either do it like openly somewhere you have to make it a hard place to get to, so it becomes a big part of the campaign to try and open it, find it, open it, get the key, and stuff like that. Or you can just simply conjure the players to somewhere and to kind of screw them up and change the physical, magical properties of reality kind of thing. It's a way to tweak things and get them to shake them up a bit, so to speak. So there's lots of cool possibility, and it's one of the mainstays of fantasy to have portals in one way, shape, or form.
It is, and you don't even realize it. And I'm going to go over some of my favorites and some of my own. How about you, Mike?
I was going to say Cannonball's got it right. Reminds me of first the D&D cartoon, because it's like all about portals and that. You get transported there, and they're looking for portals to get home, and portals here and there. Otherwise, I always think, all the artwork of actual like gates and, archways with mist, it might take you to another part of the dungeon, but sometimes it takes you to a whole new world.
Yeah. And it's cool. It's one of the few things that I think have equal home in fantasy or sci-fi. It's one of the few things that I think could work equally well in sci-fi settings or in fantasy settings.
D&D card. Well, you're going to be streaming again soon, so there you go, man. It's going to be good to.
Anna, were you on Dragon Talk with Wolfgang?
Yes.
Just recently, right?
No, that we were there 2 years. 3 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago? Okay.
I think it was 3 years ago now. I think it was 2018, if I remember correctly.
Western Broadside remembers you.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm GD, when you're talking about that, Battle of Emerald Meadows is where my campaign starts.
Oh, nice.
Starts then. The characters, were 16 years old, humans, and actually, we're in the battle. That's kind of going back to, because it's mentioned in the publications, and then kind of lost. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to getting into that big game that there's a chainmail sized big Battle of Emerald Meadows that's usually done at GaryCon, and I'm hoping to get into that this year. So that'd be cool.
To see that.
The Malachite Throne and Roxas can open a portal gate to a Karen Hell to bring in infernal allies. I believe so. It's right here. See, I'm cheating. It's right here in the Infinity is Dying reference.
That one off. Good job, Asher.
You should post a link in the notes or in chat for where people can find that list.
Yeah, Josh, can you do that, please? Josh, you can because I
want the list if nothing else.
Yeah, Josh, you want to link that? You want to link this one that you linked to me? You can feel free to link that in chat. It's on the Piazza. Look at that.
Thank you.
So there you go, everyone.
Yep.
You got to go with what you know. So when
Spelljammer stuff on there.
When I go back to early days, the early days, I look at adventures, and I go right to one that part of it. Thank you, Josh. That's really awesome. I really, hey, David, good to see you. I really hate. It's the one part of my favorite adventure of all time that I don't run, but it's portal connected. So anyone know what the hell I'm talking about? Well, first off, let me switch screens real quick and go to this. So this is Mike directed us to this. Oh, look at that! We did it. It did it again. This stupid thing. See, this is the wonders of technology. Your picture's like missing again when we go to this four screen for some reason. Yeah, so I'll work on that.
Gates in the World of Greyhawk.
Yeah, and this is by Roger Moore. This is like a compilation, correct? From
it's not very exhaustive, and I think it was intended to be a multi-part series, and he only did the one part.
Oh, right, and it was from AOL Talk, correct?
Yeah,
it's from an AOL Talk chat, which makes it really, really strange that. But it's got some good things in it, and I have.
Hold on.
Yeah. I have it here, and so be it. That's one of those that we're going to be referencing as well.
Remember that, yeah.
So note everyone that Dewey Cawthorn remembers that well, going way back in the days. But I have it, and I was just looking through it, and it's talking about Spelljammer, and each crystal sphere floats in the endless flammable sea of flux. I don't even can't even say that. Phlogiston. Crossing a magical gate from one planet to another means you bypass the phlogiston in wild space to arrive at your destination instantly. It's a great time saver. So very neat discussion here.
Yeah, who needs spelljammers?
Yeah, well, if we say Spelljammer, where's Big Mac? He's got to be on, right?
Where's Big Mac? Yeah, we're just trying to summon him.
Yeah, Josh, no OBS school. I'm an XSplit guy, so once again, don't
not
make
everyone
me use
has access.
Yeah, I'm not going to be using my ad there, but here. So we're talking about this adventure, right? So Temple of Elemental Evil is where I go, and you have these nodes, right? The elemental nodes in Part 4. Which is it's really an afterthought in the adventure for the most part.
So like you could run it and not use the nodes?
I haven't used the nodes.
I've never used it.
I've never used the nodes either.
I've been in the temple many times, but I skipped all that bit. Yep.
There's like 4 there. Each element has a it's either a gem or that fits into the Ebon Skull, right? The Orb of Death that you can put and to have it activated and to actually destroy it. And so this part I was never a fan of, but you could port between them, and there's all these individuals in the nodes that are stuck there because they can't get, they have no way of going from place to place, and it's a very dangerous, but it's basically a slog through here just fighting things, and it's kind of like I don't need to do that. So I kind of skipped the nodes. It wasn't the Orb of Oblivion. Thank you. I get them all confused. It's Orb of Golden Death, or Ebon Skulls, Orb of Oblivion. Yeah, thank you so very much. They were odd, Moose, and so this is like it's
you get to the climax and then there's more.
Yeah,
kind of a feel.
Yeah, you're down. So if you're on the 3rd level, you can banish Zugtamoy, right? And 4th level, you're fighting all the the leaders of the the elemental guy, the Doral, and there's a tentacle wall that eats your limbs off and stuff. The climatic stuff, and you get down there, and then there's the nodes. You're like, so not a fan of it. But this was all one of the first time instances of portals that I can remember in an adventure. And I guarantee you, there's stuff earlier than this as well. So stop it, Josh. Don't even get there. Oh, Doc, it's going to be. I got that covered. It's not on this list. I agree, but I'm going to talk about it in definitely. It's my favorite. So what we'll do is we'll bounce around and take some of your suggestions, and Patrick Canadian. Oh my gosh, everyone's very generous tonight. Thank you. We're going to end up this year, and so we're going to talk a lot Sunday night Year in Review. We're going to talk, and hopefully everyone will reminisce real well. That'll be Sunday. You know, hopefully we'll have a lot of really great guests as well. And plus then, you can't see me now. I gotta wait. Scottish Jeff, good to see you. We'll talk about that as soon as all this is done. So Anna, we'll bounce around. You got a portal that you like or used? I think I know where you're gonna go.
Yeah, I was going to say, since I run the homebrew, so I haven't looked to this. I've seen similar lists and so on, and I used very few of the published ones, so to speak. But one of the ones that I used to great effect that was kind of really cool is that certain times of the year in Selene, the elves have you get open portals to the Feywild and Arvana doors in the upper planes, so to speak. So there are certain areas that connect to it when Selene is full at night, so to speak. So it opens up and you can meet all sorts of fey creatures. But you also have to be wary because it also goes to the dark places of the Fey. So the Sus Forest is full of nasty critters of all kinds coming and stuff. So it's kind of, and I've used that to some effect that my players have to keep an eye out in the calendar so they know when certain things happen, so to speak, because I often use these kind of, there are certain portals that are only open a certain time of day or night.
The best.
Yeah, or when the weather is really
you don't
cold.
Want them open 24 hours.
Exactly. So I use a lot of these kind of natural phenomena. The old faith had druidic places, so meaning at certain times trees open up to you can go to other trees. So and so when the weather is right at certain festivals, certain days, and etc. And I can imagine all sorts of, I'd love to have conditional portals that opens up when there's enough magic being cast in the area. You can kind of tweak all sorts of cool stuff that you set up these kind of conditions for the portal to open, so to speak.
That's like almost like the moon portal things that happened in the Hobbit, and you know.
Yeah. So I use I use a lot of stuff like that, so to speak. And also portals is something that if casters want to cast it, it's not something they can sniff up like create in an instant. It's something that usually requires a ritual, so it takes hours or days, and you require a lot of material and stuff like that in order to do it. So you have to prep the area and all that stuff in order to get something that works and permanent.
So that's a homebrew portal.
Yeah. And that's 90% of all the portals I think I've used.
Where do they go to? You said into the Sus?
Well, in this case, it's a natural phenomena. It's something that happens because the areas are connected. So some areas are connected to the Feywild. So you have elven lands because meaning the elves have had this much contact. So they interfere with, and what they do with elven, there is enough elven worship, and so on and so forth. And they surround themselves with enough fey creatures and so on. So when Selene is full, whole square miles of terrain gets connected to the Feywild. So all of a sudden you can wander back and forth without really knowing what you do. And then you might end up in the Feywild. So you have to be wary if you go out and kind of take a hike out at night when Selene is full in certain areas, and not all of them go to the nice places of the Feywild. They can go to the really dark places of the Feywild too.
And from the show with Eric Mengi and Jose Ortiz, we now know that there's a dark and light in each. And
exactly, and they can screw
really
with your mind, and you can feel like you're just dreaming and falling asleep, and all of a sudden you're somewhere else, and there can be all sorts of effect. You can set up camp at night, and then all of a sudden you're somewhere else, and if you do it, so calendars are a thing to keep track of when it comes to stuff like that. And then you have powerful rulers have portals to demi-planes, to their whatever heaven, and I can also see that big temples can have portals to connect each other and to connect to the home plane of their deity. And I use, for instance, has like my campaign has a demi-plane that is attached to the abyss that he can kind of tweak and open portals in different parts of his realm. So he can go and travel quickly within his realm from place to place. And these are portals that requires a lot of his priests present, and they have to cast rituals and stuff like that, and do it. And that way it kind of promotes his presence, and his power, so to speak, grows the more of these portals that connects or across his realm. So that there are lots of it. My campaign is full of these kind of different types of portals for different purposes. Cults often have portals to their patrons, so to speak. So he can come down in person, or he can send emissaries to help. That's some of the cults who have cult leaders open a special portal for communication and for help.
I was trying to draw a line, Anna, on summoning. That's like summoning is not the same as a
portal is something that is there for more or less permanent.
Yeah.
It has
well,
to be
a gate and a summoning are two different things. A
Yeah.
gate, something steps
Right.
through.
Yeah,
Right.
if you summon a demon,
It's
or if
there.
you just
Yeah,
summon
and-
a familiar, it's
yeah.
it's not the
And
same.
I see
Right.
summoning as a
True.
portal that is specific for one creature, that you bring one creature in, so to speak. And calling is now I'm back to the 3.5 and Pathfinder
Right.
rules, meaning calling is that you send out the message and something that is in the
Yeah.
area comes to you.
Right.
Summoning and so on, that is something you bring them in, whether they are in the area or not, from somewhere. And then a gate, then you open a generic opening to somewhere else, so to speak. So that's more like we think about portal, and something will come through.
Like
And then you have the portal where you actually make a device that will work whether you are there or not, so to speak. As a caster.
Ideally, and not always, these portals should be two ways, but I've found
Exactly, but they can. Some
be
of them
one
can.
way.
It's fun as a DM if you make them one way. So you have one way on this side, and then you have another way on close by or something like that. But
well, here's when you're doing a summons monster spell and they kill or defeat that disappears as well. They don't stay. Gated creatures stay. I mean, unless they're demons and you're banishing them out, but they're so
yes, summoning is a bit like when you have that when you travel through the astral plane and you have that cord behind you, so to speak. So you're only there partially, you're not there fully, so to speak, when you do a summoning, because you can die and then you don't die in your home plane when you summon, so to speak. A summoned creature just die, the summoned version of it dies, and then it goes back to where it came from, so to speak.
Tim, yes. Gate portal in a certain instance, because gates can be permanent too, which is really sick.
Yeah, then they become portals in my take, so to speak.
No, I think there's different types of portals.
There you
I was also trying to draw a line on teleportals.
Well, that's something I'm going to discuss, because I agree that they're portals too, because they're within the same realm.
Exactly, but
plane.
the same
Within the
plane,
same
but
realm.
they're still portals.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I focused all my brain power on portals that go from the world of Greyhawk to some other world.
All right, well, give us one.
Yeah.
And these are all published stuff.
Okay.
Now I'm kind of with Anna. Maybe I'm 25% homebrew stuff. Time to time, I will throw out something. If the story warrants it, I'll create my own gates. But there's so many in the published stuff that I tend to lean on the published gates.
Right.
And let's just go back to Selene, where Anna had already started. There is the Moon Arc. Of
North of Instead, up on the mountain there.
So it's a temporary portal. It's one of these intermittent ones she's talking about, only at certain times and certain, then when the elves go in there, it's some mysterious identity plane where they're tested. Kind of reminds me of the Tower of High Sorcery in Dragonlance. Anyone knows what I'm talking about? But they're tested there, and when they come back, their success or failure, I guess, depends on whether or not that elf becomes a badass or if he goes away, right?
Yeah. I mean, so there are a ton of them here. So is that moon? I'm not. Everyone knows I'm not a fan of the moon bow effect and all that. So is that separate Is it separate or
I
is
don't
it
know.
similar?
Moonarch.
Yeah, where
It's
they
from the ashes.
right where they have to go and they have to leave the mortal world. It's
Yeah, I think the ones that fail get depressed and then they leave.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it at all. It's too Tolkien-esque,
Well,
and it didn't exist in the
it's there.
original,
It's there.
so that's too. Yeah, I was like, that's out in my game as we were
But there are the
discussing.
feeding lands, which is more like Anna's talking. The
Yeah.
big transitive
Yeah.
overlapping plains.
Yeah,
And then there's the Moonarch, which is a specific location with a gate that opens at certain times.
right,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool. Very, very cool. So let me go through one that can be torturous. And that is one of my favorites, the last publication ever made by for Greyhawk, right? And that's Expeditions to Ruins of Greyhawk, right? There are so many portals.
Oh, yeah.
In Castle Greyhawk.
So many.
So, if you ever run this, and near the end, you got to go to the Isle of the Ape,
Yep.
a small part. You got to go to the Dungeon Land a little bit as well.
Sure.
There's a mirror, the Orb of Opposition's there, so that's another one where that's
mirror
mirrored to
world,
Earth.
I
You
guess.
are, There's a portal to Ravenloft. There's a portal to Gary Julian's favorite place, the Barrier Peaks. Yes.
Well, yeah. See, that's why I don't know. Is that a portal or is that a teleportal?
It's a portal because it's permanent, right? It's not a teleporter.
Yeah,
I see teleporter pads as portals as well in this discussion, but we can discuss.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah.
All right.
I agree, Dorgum. But the best one that I did not know about from all this is, and all that's not noted other than this, which I find unbelievably cool. And you all have that list now. There's a cursed scroll somewhere, and I don't know if it's in this one or if it's in Greyhawk Ruins or
Probably
whatever.
Greyhawk Ruins.
It's in Dragon 17. It's talked about that will portal you to Jim Ward's Starship Warden.
Oh.
And now it's been printed after all these years, which is unbelievably cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
so there's a Greyhawk connection there.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's pretty neat. I did not know about that, and that's in this list here. I gotta look that up. If someone could find the page reference from Dragon 17, that would be awesome.
That's older than I know.
Yeah.
So plus 10 broadsword. Yes, Dungeon Land is the Alice in Wonderland module.
Yeah, Dungeon Land is Alice in Wonderland. What's up, Calstaff? But it's just. But
so yeah,
it's little tidbits of it.
You're right. Greyhawk Ruins / Expedition has all these portals. The Zagig is just
loves
portal happy. He loves demiplanes. Everything you just described, and there's more. I was reading through it last night. There's more. So there's a one-way gate to the elemental plane of Earth down there.
Okay.
Yeah. There is a intermittent portal to the plane of fire.
Oh.
That apparently you're only able to see into the plane of fire. I don't think you're actually able to step through it. There is not only a Dungeon Land entrance, there's also a magic mirror to the land beyond the magic mirror, which is the part 2 of that adventure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And let's see, there's also a room in the Zagig dungeon, one of the 3 towers. It's a gate to the abyss, but it's a small gate.
What's up, Tino?
And it's more like, it's kind of hard to explain, but there's this magic light, and creatures on the other side of the gate can see the light. So it's like a beacon that calls them to this portal. And then the last one I found was there's a mural this is in Greyhawk Ruins. There's a mural of these 5 different planes, which are supposed to belong to the Ring of 5. One mirror and one place each. And apparently if you touch this mural on the wall, it transports you to that world. Now it doesn't tell you what the worlds are. I guess that's left for the DM to decide. So there's easily close to a dozen portals to other worlds just in the Greyhawk Ruins.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's probably the most that I've found out of anything. It's crazy how much. And there's probably stuff that we're missing too, because it's so large and there's so many addendums to it. One here it says, I don't even know what this is. Jack Vance's Planet of Adventure, DMG page 112.
There you
I
go.
don't know.
I don't even know what that
I don't
is.
know.
There's also
Yeah.
says in DMG page 112 Greek mythology
It
world. There's
is-
a connection to the Greek.
Yeah, but these some of the sources that were listed in the appendix N that are mentioned. So it's
yeah.
kind of portals into these things that Gary Gygax mentioned in the appendix N and wrote in as his inspiration. It sounds a bit like it.
It's really cool, and it's a place where there's a ton of them. Look at that. Dorgrim's giving me hero bones. Dorgrim's giving me DM points for tomorrow night already.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're in
Dragon
trouble
Magazine,
already.
page 6 for a Dungeon Dragon Adventure Board Destruction. Thank you, D. Crofton. Thank you so very
But
much.
Gygax, back in the day, Gygax and his company, they were always crossing genres, right?
Which I love.
So that's why they needed the portals to go to the Warden or wherever.
Yeah.
Boot Hill,
Yeah, Big Hill.
Gamma World.
Lots of that.
Yep.
It's a wonder the world of Greyhawk even got.
Yes, there are. So, GD, we will go there next since you asked. And let me
GD.
bring that up real quick. It's a simple place, right in Greyhawk City.
Maybe.
Right. There you go. The World Serpent Inn through the Wild Goose Tavern.
Yes.
Has portals all over the place. This is Eric Boyd's article. Eric Boyd will be on playing the game of Ed Greenwood on my channel on January 15th. So we can see Eric Boyd again, who wrote this article. So yes, these apparently there's portals to all of them here. Correct, Mike? Every single.
So where's the Wild Goose at?
I believe
city.
it's in the foreign quarter.
Foreign quarter. So the way the Wild Goose works is it's a hub. So this inn's a hub. You go to the Wild Goose, you go through a certain door, leads to the World Serpent Inn. Same thing in Iron Gate. What issue was that? 351 Dragon.
I believe so.
There's a bar in Iron Gate. You go through that, you go through the wrong door, you end up in the World Serpent Inn.
Right.
And from the World Serpent Inn, you can go to any other world. The Star of Forgotten Realms, whatever. So the World Serpent Inn is this hub, and there, people from other settings can interact.
Which is cool when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's really a neat thing. So I think I have another picture of that. So here's like the bar, and then here are all the portals.
Wow.
Supposedly, yes. So you can make them whatever you want. I know. And Asher says it's lazy. It is. It's lazy because it's all in one-stop shop. It's kind of like if everyone ever read the Myth, the Myth series by Robert Ashburn, the D Hopper. You just, and then you can go wherever you want dimension-wise.
The World Serpent Inn is very streamlined if you don't want to go bonkers and use Sigil and Planescape.
Yeah.
If you just want to use something trimmed down, the World Serpent Inn is fine.
Yeah, and it works. It works. No, I think Odd Alley's different.
I don't know what to make of
I think
Odd
that's
Alley.
a different portal, Odd Alley.
That's in Knight Errant.
Yeah,
right?
it's in Knight Errant. It's not the World Serpent.
And I don't know what to make of that. Yeah, I know it's in the city of Greyhawk.
I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
Kind of, you have that kind of weird little alley where anything can happen, so to speak, especially weird things like that.
There is a magic portal aspect to it, but you're still on Earth, right?
Well, I think you
haven't gone anywhere. Have you?
You can go lots of weird places, so to speak. It's one of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be like World Serpent Inn.
I can see it as a little alley where lots of weird creatures who kind of offer the services or want to stay away from things and are not what they seem and all sorts of stuff.
Maybe they should have put probably the smart thing to do then is put the Wild Goose in Odd Alley.
Yeah. And you can also see the Odd Alley as a place that you can't get to through normal. Even the Odd Alley itself, go into the alley, you enter another plane. So it's a portal. Just get into the alley, and then so they can kind of hide it away if they don't want to show. If someone comes who they don't want to get in there, if someone controls it, you can kind of something that that lures the right people in, so to speak.
Has anyone used an odd alley in their campaign? That's what
Yeah, I
asked.
used it. Yep.
Yeah.
I used it as a kind of a weird place where you can kind of hang out, and the Thieves Guild kept an eye on it and assigned certain people to kind of keep doing it as a it was a way to lure things in and out of the city and keep an eye out instead of having all sorts of weird portals popping up everywhere. They kind of, you put it there so then we can supervise it a bit and we can kind of see what's happening. So it was a little bit of a honey trap and also a way to get in and out without themselves having their own fingerprints over it, because portals are a beacon, because others can notice that things are happening planar wise, so to speak, and by hiding it in its own kind of demiplane and away from their own, then they can use it without anyone can really tie to who's running it, so to speak. So that was part of one of the Thieves Guild schemes in cooperation with various temples and others who have aspects in it, and then so they can kind of open and lure it in, and yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, now we're getting where some places here.
Now we're moving.
And one of the things that just when we talked about gates and portals before, one of the difference that I use in my campaign is that gates are a spell, meaning it can be dispelled. But a portal is a thing, meaning it needs to be destroyed. You need to hammer it to pieces and stuff like that. That's one of the difference. Meaning a gate, if you see someone opening a gate spell, you can cast the dispel magic and you can close it even from a distance.
I like that, but as someone who has just did a lot of PDF searches, word searches, gate is used more often than portal.
Oh yes, yeah. But this is a game mechanic difference that I use in my campaign, so to speak.
But you're right. Gate is also a spell.
Yeah.
And
so if you cast a gate spell, then that can be dispelled without too much fuss, so to speak. But a portal needs to be destroyed, so to speak. You probably need to both dispel it. First, you need to destroy it and dispel it and stuff, so in order to get rid of it, so to speak.
Captain Ron asks about gatekeepers like Heimdall.
So that's a good question.
Oh,
yes. Yeah.
Anna says yes.
Some gates are kept, so to speak, that they are maintained. You either need a key or you need to talk to someone who opens it for you, so to speak.
In your homebrew situation,
exactly. And one of the perfect example of that is the crypt thing. Is a perfect one of these that sits there as an undead who just sits there, and his whole purpose is to open and close the gate, or simply vanquish the intruders away using a gate or a portal, so to speak. And so you can have all sorts of creatures, and meaning evil ones, they will have a demon or a devil or something guard a gate, and they might guard it on the other side. So when you come through, you have to face that one in order to get through on the other side. So the gate might have some sort of in-between state where there is a creature trapped or waiting there for you, and you have to fight it, or you have to give it a gift, or you can come up with all sorts of interesting
I think the
things.
mechanism in most published adventures is the gatekeeper is some archmage who says he waves his wand, okay, go through the gate.
Yeah,
and that would make them the gatekeeper.
Yeah, you can have someone open it, or you can have that you have to have a thing with you, and you can combine it.
Would be a gatekeeper.
Yeah,
it makes sense. It makes sense because you just don't want them like. Now I can see some that are lost to time that don't have, or have crazy gatekeep, whatever.
Yeah, well, the gatekeep might have died and the gate's still there, so you just have to figure out how to use it and stuff. So you can,
there's a couple that I'm looking through this list, which is fantastic. That has some really neat ones in there. But they don't talk about if there are gatekeepers, which would be cool. But I would have a lot of them having them. So.
But I also have pure natural gates, especially to the elemental planes. Meaning you can if you're really high up on the mountaintop, you might have a gate to the elemental plane of air, for instance.
Yeah, well,
or you're in a volcano is to me a natural opening into the plane of fire.
Is that what an elemental node is?
Well, see, you nailed one, and that is, and let me see if I can bring this up. You nailed one there, Anna.
Yeah. So
I
so
mean,
I have it. Yes, but and dig down deep into the earth, and you
well,
open
there's
a portal to the
there's one.
elemental.
Here it is, page 97. There's one specifically
Yeah.
mentioned here on page 97, and thanks, Patrick. Sisyphus Erd, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mike, did I get another one of yours?
No, I'm just laughing at Ron talking about the Keymaster.
So here's that's Burning Cliffs.
Yeah. That's another example I think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sisyphus Erd, the geysers of death, which has
Mm-hmm.
is likely a natural vortex that a choking gale between the paramental plane of ooze and the quasi-elemental plane of steam, which is kind of
Yep.
neat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a
Yep.
theoretical one there. So
Yep. Yep. You can have natural openings to almost anything, and especially all the elemental planes, para, normal, para, quasi, and all that stuff. And that's kind of super cool. You meaning if you go down near Div, meaning it's a lake of the unknown depth. So of course there needs to be a elemental opening to the plane of water at the bottom of it, and that means that's why it's unknown depth.
Those need a term though, because I always feel like gates and portals should be like man-made
Yeah, I call
objects.
them natural portals for me because they occur through the quirks of nature, so to speak. They're no normal magic. No one has made them. They are simply physic manifestations, like volcanoes in the real world. In my fantasy world, when a volcano comes up, that's simply too much elemental fire in that area, so then it pops up and causes it.
in natural portals or rifts, and that's
Rifts.
a good idea. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, so and you can have them to all sorts of things, natural portals to elemental plane of and the Selene ones in areas that are fade, that's a natural portal too that happens when certain things happen, and you have elemental to all sorts of stuff. So you can.
Tim brings up a good question for me. Night Below has a leak from the elemental plane of water. So I didn't know that because I don't have Night Below.
Yeah.
But if let's say you have one of these rifts to the elemental plane of water and it's just been nonstop, water movement. Does it there's some kind of pressure where it evens out, or flood?
No, I think it needs to be some sort of balance. So
Josh.
Especially with the elemental planes, meaning there is. If water is pouring in, then it should even out after a while. So there will be a pouring out somewhere else, so to speak, or something.
I imagine that's part of the Abolus, right? It's part of the deal with them. And
I have them. The creatures like that are creatures that make use of it. They can sense it. They made use of it. They co-develop on the elemental plane of water, and they come back and forth, so to speak. And you can have it to the Underdark. You can have connections both there and out in the ocean and deep lakes and stuff. So that way you can get interesting monsters that can move between areas. That's why you can have cool monsters in Near Div, out in the ocean, in the Underdark that would normally, how the hell could they get into a puddle of water in the Underdark? Well, it can be an opening to the primordial sea, so to speak, where you can have anything be.
It's cool. It's great to there's so many I'm glad we're discussing this because we're going to go.
Yeah.
As you can see, anyone who's new, and there's a lot of new people on, we bounce around a lot, and that's a good thing. We're going to touch a lot of topics tonight.
Yeah. And I'm crazy with my homebrew stuff. So
yes, and I've stayed away from mine. I only got one or two to talk about of mine. I've shown some pictures. They're scrolling through, and when we do the scroller part, but got some. Given membrane that limits or restricts the fluid. So, all right, Mike, pick one as we continue.
Oh, okay. Well, so there's I'll get I know Duakarthan mentioned this in chat a second ago. There's some portals in Mar Castle, or the ruin, or the dungeons below. Right at the beginning too. That's what's fascinating. So before you even get through the unopenable doors, there's a side passage where there's an 8-pointed star, and it's a hook for later adventures for games to develop. And as the story goes, 1,000 years ago, the 8 last apprentices of the Archmage Slaratin, who we all know from the Sea of Dust, he kind of, I guess, divided his knowledge to these 8 students, and then they carved up these. They made this 8-sided portal, and they all like went off to their own little demi-planes and were never seen again. And these portals, there's 8 of these triangles for each point, and they're called octics. And I know there's a few of them floating out there in some published modules, but the octics are a hook for you to go chasing after the magical secrets of the power mages and all that. Doesn't have nothing to do with the rest of Mark Castle, I don't believe. But I always thought that was interesting that you could potentially have 8 other worlds just off of this other mega dungeon that you've already been presented.
So your adventures can go on and on and on.
Yeah, just when you have cleared out Mar Castle and killed the Itomaras, then you can go on an 8-part adventure to get the power of Slaratin. It's crazy.
My question: the name Slaratin, did we ever figure out, did Len make that, or was that someone else's idea? Or was that Len?
I'm not sure.
It
seems to have been very early on in Greyhawk, I think.
Okay,
but it might have been Len's
book.
original too. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because he was involved from very early on, from what I get it. So yeah.
So Rick's right. There's one of those octics is in Dragotha's Horde. So there you can get started.
So that's the spot.
So go kill the Dragotha, take the train, go all the way back to Mark Castle, get going.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right. We got some bad news. Gitano just found something. I don't want to bring a huge downer on this, but I guess we better tell everyone that it appears Jason Zavarda has passed.
That's so sad.
We worried about.
Yeah. So, and I went to his house today.
Really?
Gitano. Just linked some.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
he was supposed to be on the show last week.
Yeah.
We worried about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I went to his house today. I went there, knocked on the door.
Oh yeah, he lives close to you.
About 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Small world.
Gitano, I really appreciate you doing.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah. He passed on December 22nd.
Wow.
So he's been gone a while. It's a shame that none of us knew.
That he was active until the day before.
After?
Yeah, exactly. He was active
after?
until the December 21st. So yeah. Oh, that's sad.
That's very, very sad. So I will see if I can reach out. And please, if you can do the same thing, it looks like Gitano, thank you so very much for finding that. So it's been since before Christmas. We didn't know. Yeah, we didn't. I'm sorry, but literally Gitano just told me. And I wanted to. And I'm really happy that someone found it. So we lost both. And Jason was
he's a pillar,
a pioneer.
Exactly. He's been in the community forever and very active.
Oh my gosh!
Yep.
Wow.
But I didn't want to hold off on that, saying that.
No.
Thank you, Gitano, for. So we'll think of doing something.
We need to talk about his stuff and all the cool stuff he's been doing over the years.
Well, you're in a review, right?
Exactly.
So, oh man. That's a shame. That's a shame.
Yep. That's a shame.
Jason's got a good legacy, though.
He does have a wonderful legacy, and
I'm so glad that we got a chance to have him on the show as often as we had. And that he got a chance to read through almost all of the Gord books, I think. So now we need to save those recordings and see if we can.
I have them all saved.
Oh, good,
so,
good. Yep.
That is so. I have a little. I had a little tribute for Kim tomorrow because everyone knows he loved. He always talk about fireballing everything, right? Sorry, guys, but if you're playing tomorrow, in the game, Anna Bones, whoever else,
Oh, good. Yeah.
It's Cathay. So Cathay, we'll talk in chat. Will someone please let Gary know? Gitano, can you let Gary know? Because he was worried about it, and like I said, I went to his house today, and it was closed up. There was no one answered. There was a freaking package on his front step. I should have. I didn't know. But yeah. He was a bouncer at a biker bar once too. A lot of things.
We've heard cool stories about that.
So let's remember them both for greatness.
Jason had been gone from the Grut community for a very long time, and I'm glad he came back when he did and got to enjoy.
He got some years in contributing again for really contributing a lot for several years.
Yeah, and that really sucks. So I was a week late, but then we didn't. So that was the day we had Legend Lore last week. So
that's why.
Yeah, so just reach out to him, and all right, let's persevere through this, and then we'll plan something. We'll plan something coming up. We had when was the last time we had Jason on? Was it a Gabbin? We had.
I think it was about 2 weeks. It was like a few days before then. It must have been not many days before December 20th. So
they spent a lot of time with him.
I'm really appreciative that Gitano linked that to me in my Discord. That he had been gone a week, but my guess is his mother. No one's at the house because his mother went with one of his siblings, right? His sister or his brother. That's probably why she wasn't there. So that sucks.
Yep,
that sucks. So
that really sucks.
He's like the resident expert on the Gygax novels.
Yeah,
and I feel like I would just always lean on him for that knowledge. And I know nothing. About that
now we need to have a communal reading again and listening to his tapes and stuff for the recordings now from it.
Cathay, how many did you get through? Did you get through 4 of them? You're gonna have to take over the reading now. You're gonna have to finish it.
Exactly.
Somebody's gotta finish it. So
good idea.
All right, in Vermont. Oh, you got through 4 books. Well, that's good. So sorry to hear it.
Got through at least all the ones that were rooted in the world of Greyhawk before he went into the Abyss and the Nether Plains and stuff at the very end. So
Patrick, that 5,000 I will put into some specials for the players for tomorrow night right off the bat. How's that sound? Because they to assist. All right, so we'll do that. All right. Okay. I gotta get back on.
We have to. But
we'll get through this. We'll get through.
Yeah, we get through this. Yeah.
Is the Hall of the Mountain King? Yes. Yes, it is. Here, let me link it. I got a shout out here somewhere.
It's on Cannon Fire also.
Yeah. Well,
we need to Hall of the Mountain King and
he had stopped putting it on Blogspot.
Exactly, but there are some older stuff and pictures and stuff. So
okay.
Yeah. So.
We'll have to get Christoph to archive it or something.
It's not archived on Campfire?
Oh, I don't know if the whole thing is or not. Yeah. I know he started posting his new stuff on Campfire. I don't know. Gary will know.
Yeah. Oh man, this is gonna be rough, Gary. Yeah, I was hit hard by leg.
Yeah, there's. I post a link in chat to his older stuff that he blogged. It's on Blogspot, so I put a link there. There is his
Awesome.
I think he maintained this one up until 2020. I think the latest post there is in June 2020. After that, he has things on Cannon Fire, and I think some of it is on Greyhawk Online too.
Didn't he say he was inspired by you, Mike, for blogging?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great thing. I mean, the Zavota Index everyone uses to this day, and it's a wonderful thing. So
you see, this is
Tim.
The hard part
of in your game.
Why I stopped blogging also is now like this would be a news article on my blog. I don't want to post about.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
So, but
we don't know.
Yeah, it's a very it's a sad time. But look, I'll say this. So with Jason, every time I talk to him, Jason was a personality that was a little abrasive sometimes, and when he got opinionated, he really could get angry.
Yeah, we all had our run-ins that way, but I'm so. Oh, sorry.
I never had a run-in with him ever, and he was always very kind to me and said some wonderful things about when we first started talking like 3 years ago, and he saw the game and he put a lot of nice stuff in his blog, and he always. Anytime I asked if he was healthy, he jumped on the show every time.
Yeah.
So it was a wonderful thing, and I'd rather live, remember him that way and remember the positives, and just note everyone, the community is doing. We've had 2 tragedies in the last week or so, with two passings. The community is doing well, and I think he'd be really happy. Both of them would be happy that Greyhawk is growing, and it's a loss, but it's look at all the new people. Every stream I see new people here.
Very prolific.
So let's just keep on rolling. Jason's about tonight. So,
and for me, it was so funny because the first time I talked to him live, so to speak, in Discord or Zoom or whatever it was, then it was like 3-4 years ago, and I remember we had a big row the first time, and from then it just went better and better and better after that. So it was wonderful, and so we had one row to begin with, and after that it's been improved every time we talked. We like each other more and more. So
he says he was inspired by my blogging to do his blog, but this is stuff circular because I was always in awe of his index as a project, and he was never around the Greg community when I started. So when he started interacting with us and whatnot and chatting and whatnot, I was almost kind of in awe of him.
Yeah, because his index, the first version was done like almost 20 years ago or something. It's been around for a long time.
I referenced throughout all my blogs. And gaming career.
Yeah, because I remember using it for years.
And I didn't know the guy. And when you get to know the guy, then
and he was playing in Tim's game. He was playing in Tim's Barbarian game, and he loved that too. And that was a good thing. And it was really I DM'd for him one time in Horror in the Holes during Greyhawk Con. It was either Greyhawk or Gary Con a year and a half ago, and he had a good time there. So he just notes that it sucks, and we just. We'll say our farewells at a future show. I guarantee it. And then we'll continue to persevere and enjoy the game and honor them by playing and having continuing to meet new people and growing the community. All right, let's get back here and see if I can refocus here a little bit. Let's go to my favorite portals of all time.
Okay.
Yep.
There we go.
Demon Web Pits.
So everyone hates this adventure. I hate the end. I hate the end. I love the Demon Web, and I love level 4 of the Demon Web. What brilliance this was. And this is David Sutherland and Gary Gygax. So I don't know which one came up with it. But if you go to the adventure here, we're going to go
the web, literally the web.
Yeah, here it is. You're like, it gives you brain aneurysms looking at this, right?
Yeah.
This was.
It's one of these impossibilities.
So the Demon Web itself is a plane, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
3
so.
no, it's 4 each level. This is all intermixed planes because they had so many 666. I
Yeah,
think it's all
I have
interwoven
it
into multiples.
as part of the abyss, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Abyss. She's a demon.
Yeah, so it's part of her realm in the abyss.
Yeah. So note that we're talking about the orange level now. So when you go to the orange level, you know, which is above all these others, you know, as you can see, the dimensionality doesn't work on them. You know, they actually cross over. By the way, if you stare at them, you see souls of people in the abyss. That's what the floor is made of, and that's really disturbing.
That's
so
cool.
yeah,
it's awesome.
Definitely. Trinax, exactly. Trinax is the one stuck in the prison, and you're not getting ahead of us. So I love this adventure. So we're going to go over this a little bit here.
Sure.
So, what's up, Sean Geek Dice? Good to see you.
Yeah, hello.
All right. 29 minutes.
Okay. So here we go. The first one is the most memorable for us. The Kingdom of Saer CD. We've adventured here multiple times over our 42-year campaign. Yes, because the oldest character NPC in my campaign named Cedric comes from here. He's an elven fighter mage, and he came because the elves in this kingdom are evil. The dwarves are like enslaved by him. So, yes, this land is ruled by elves, neutral evil tendencies, alignment, calling themselves the Pharisees. They form the ruling class. So, thank you for the follow there. This is a wonderful realm. It's got a lot of neat things. And Duke Alfric, I have the drow aligning with them here. So there was a fight going on. See, look, it says Loftsgate is relatively new to this world, and Alfric is watching it carefully. So they know it exists, and there's a lot of manticores and all sorts of other, you know, creatures that were, well, thank you, +10. Thank you so very much. So this is cool that this exists, another world, and we've gone back there.
I like that one.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So many worlds to springboard from.
I read about that world, Jay, and I tried to use just the world, but I didn't want to run the rest of the module.
Dude, it's cool. It's so cool that this exists because you don't know. It's alternate prime material, right? So it could be the same. You just don't know, and you can make it anything you want. You know, some people
it's not
said,
just a demi-plane; it's a whole world, right?
Right. Some people go, "Oh, it's the other side of Greyhawk." I'm like, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to put it on Earth at all. I don't want to do that.
No, you should put it in whatever dimension something you want to. Yeah.
Yes, it is, Josh. It's the Pharisees.
Casting a wide net.
It is.
A wide net.
Yeah, this is why, if you've ever seen my Wall of Fame, not the joke one that everyone sees where they put all sorts of goofy modules on there, but
that's become a thing now, Jay.
I know. Especially when you see if you see my Wall of Fame and you see this adventure on there, you know it's fake. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, you definitely know it's fake. That's the reason Q1 is on my Wall of Fame, is this part, which I thought was groundbreaking. All right, so you go here, B, you got the Frozen Lands. I never used this. The Great Ocean, Kevin Costner's there. It's Waterworld, right before Waterworld existed. So that was pretty awesome that they actually did a Waterworld location. D's the Black Fen, and it's a lot of, some of these are not as well developed, but you can further develop them.
But the names are very evocative.
Yeah, absolutely. Where you can do things a little bit there, Snuggy. We played that a little bit, Spellfire. Yeah. This one is really neat. The labyrinth. There's no way out either. It's a labyrinth that Loft throws. It's a breeding ground for a spider somewhere, and you get thrown in there, and they're survivalists, and of course there's no way out. So just
an endless maze where you grind killing spiders.
Yes. It's pretty and look, it's just spiders and fugitives and survivors, and there's a whole chart here of how many fugitives and who they are. Really, it's a neat concept to think about. It'll be on another prime material plane of existence. This one is cool too, Maldiv.
Oh, I love that illustration.
Yeah, this one is. I'd love to know who did this illustration. It's really a great illustration.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a note down there on the bottom right.
It's Diesel. Diesel.
Oh, there you go.
Diesel. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. So this one
Maldev is a dwarven.
Yeah, this is the last dwarven kingdom in this world that Loth is attacking with. Listen to this: 8,000 gnolls, 2,000 bugbears, 150 ogres, hill giants, trolls, paladins, umberhulks, and one
she's
red
not
dragon.
Just drow.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yep.
Yep. And the fortress are 4,000 dwarves, 500 humans, 100 brown bears, 10 cave-bears, 10 werebears, giant badgers, and 5 pegasus.
Sounds like a good time to break out the minis.
Yeah.
That is
some battle system.
Yeah.
super battle system. This one's cool. This is pre Ravenloft, the night world of Vlad Tolenkov. There's no sun. It's always twilight or dark here.
We
brilliant.
get close to. I get I get some feels for later adventures in that genre having their
Proto-Barovia.
Yeah, exactly. Proto-Barovia. Yeah.
Boy, could you imagine
Hey, Rich.
That? I guess it stands well on its own, but yeah, you would think that'd be part of Ravenloft or something.
It seems like that was they took that and ran with it.
It's a great idea. There's not much here. I mean, it's like 5 paragraphs. But
but that's how you make a world. 5 paragraphs. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's pretty.
The whole world of Mahim.
Yeah, you can put.
It's really neat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea, Dale. See, it's great to expand.
Yeah.
You could. So, if you can, is this available in reprint there, Patrick or whoever? Anyone know?
Sure, I'm going to
get it.
Yep.
And just use this part for developing planar gate connections to Greyhawk. I'm serious. All right. So this next, and look, there's Vlad's castle. Pictures of it. This next one is really a small demi-plane. It is just it's a flat, miniature
it's
flat world.
In reprint.
Okay, good. 2,000 yard diameter. That's it. A circular little mini moon or whatever. And there's just a guy in a prison in a cage. Yep, and this is what Enoch was talking about. And Trinax the Clerics is in here, and I've used this monster many times. It's guarded by a bone colossus. So there you go. I don't think it has enough hit points personally. So it's just a huge. It's like an amalgamation of many skeletons joined together with a huge club, and that's So and you can free him. Yeah. So. It's really a neat thing on this one. And he's okay. He's like 8th level.
So Wolf gave Zagig a run for his money on gates and portals.
Yeah. This is such genius in this adventure. This part gets overlooked by everyone because they're like, I don't like the spider ship. I think I'm running. I'm watching a stupid Wild Wild West movie.
Wild Wild West.
You know what I mean? Yeah. By the way, if you've ever seen you got to watch the Kevin Smith video with him and Jay and Silent Bob, and Kevin Smith is talking about how he almost was up for producer for the movie Superman, and the guy who was producing Superman also produced that stupid Wild Wild West thing. And he talks about the giant effing spider that is going to appear in the Superman movie, and it ends up what's it end up in? It ends up in Wild Wild West instead. It's hysterical. It's like about a half hour long, but you got to watch it. It's so funny. So. Yeah, that's Skeleton Siege.
To Drive Through RPG if you want to purchase the PDF or the soft cover or.
So the Bone Colossus here, Bones says, I know because your name, being created from the joining of many skeletons. As at closer inspection, many different types of bones may be seen jutting from the body, and one hand holds a bone club. Total dismemberment will not destroy it because it's a regeneration. So, yep, pretty neat. All right, and then lastly is the last plane is the spider ship of Loth, so which is kind of where it goes downhill.
Some sci-fi weird combination
of
stuff.
It's not the plane though.
Well, that's the last door.
It's just what's on the plane.
Well, that door on the web only has a room there, and it has a whole plane, so it's going. So it doesn't say. You don't know. I believe you do.
I thought the opening paragraph says it's on on a plane.
Let's see. This portal's different. It is a pair of bronze doors that face the door will be open. The doors also.
No.
I don't know if you regain your spells or not here, because remember you couldn't get certain spells back. This ship has been known to appear on the prime material plane in places where law felt necessary. So.
Okay.
Yeah, but I still think you're on the abyss.
I see.
At this point. Yeah.
Wolf in space.
Yeah.
Hey,
Daka, good to see you, man. Loth in space. Yeah. This is where it goes downhill. But so you have, you have H. So 8. You have 8 worlds here that you can develop, all portaled, all really cool and unique. And like I said, my favorite's A. My favorite by far is A. I like the prison one too. But my favorite one's CRCD. It's got the most development on it, and it also, is where we've adventured there multiple times. So, yeah. So, thoughts, Anna? A different appreciation for Q1 now that you saw this?
To some degree, yes,
Yeah.
but there are parts I absolutely love, but the spaceship kind of things, I would rewrite that and make it some weird part of her abyssal realm or something like that. So I can envision it more like a spidery realm, like a huge, enormous forest, like the foot of the tree, so to speak, where the spiders live in, with enormous spider webs, and you get tangled up, and it's almost impossible to go places. And I would kind of tie into that nasty giant critters world, so to speak. You can imagine all sorts of spidery creatures that are huge and will eat anything that comes your way. And so if you have arachnophobia, don't go there. Kind of that's the kind of campaign I would see these.
Yeah,
their belief kind of nasty stuff and all sorts of things. That will be attracted by her presence, so to speak, and that will be kind of my take on it, I think. So I will tweak that into Arachna Haven, so to speak.
Were you going to say something, Mike?
Hell.
Yeah. So there's a question: is Lolth counted as a demon lord, a goddess, or both? And I think since she rules her own plane in the abyss, that would make her a demon lord or lady. But maybe she's a deity because she's also, through the demon web, conquering other prime lords.
Well, Demogorgon, Orcus are all considered lesser gods.
Yeah, for me, demon lord and god, no difference.
Yeah.
It's just a certain type of god. They're powerful as gods.
That's true. No, that's true. She may be a demigod. Are you saying she's demigod status, not lesser god?
I'm not sure exactly where she fit in, but yeah. But to me, meaning take Giras,
her influences goes beyond the abyss, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, meaning I have Giras. He's one of or Asmodeus. They are major gods because they rule over many planes and enormous amount of creatures and whatnot. Have wield power. So they are as powerful as some of the other gods, at least intermediate, probably even higher. So Asmodeus is definitely my campaign a major god. He's one of the most powerful ones ever, so to speak. But his interest is not primarily the prime material plane. He has more concerns down there, so to speak, and that's what he runs. So he's busy with other things. But they kind of they have their there might be other gods who are subject or kind of subjects of major gods, so to speak. So Giras can have other minor gods under him that will be worshipped by cults and others, and the same thing with the meaning Hextor to me and Tiamat are under Asmodeus, so they are kind of doing his bidding more or less, especially Hextor does.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah.
So she's part of the Elven pantheon, so she's obviously not a demon from the start. So it's a good chance that she's actually just a deity who happens to live in the abyss.
Which there are those. There are.
Yeah.
But to me, she becomes part of the elven deity pantheon because there's so many elves that worship her.
Yeah.
Evil
and then
elves,
maybe also a lot of other elves who fear her, so to speak. So that's why she becomes part of the pantheon.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
But it's how you want to play it out. As a DM, you decide demons might be separate from gods in your way you're running clerics and so on and so on. depends a little bit on the edition and the way you want to run it, and you might not want to even think about the difference and
it's
just
complicated.
Yeah, exactly. Let it be complicated and don't mess with it. Just play.
C9 Moonbow is not better than Lolth.
No.
Trust me.
No, I don't want to get into an illustrated discussion without Eric Mengi here and all that.
Exactly.
So.
But tie this discussion back into portals. Can gods and others, can they just open a portal into the prime material plane and then just march through and stuff? That's one of these kind of things, meaning do portals just pop up? How difficult is it for other creators to come in? Can a powerful demon just get themselves to the prime material plane and run out, so to speak?
I'm going to do this one for Jason.
Yeah.
Greater gods.
Yep.
Glossography. Greater gods can cast gate 3 times a day.
Yep.
Greater. So that doesn't mean they can step through it.
That's
lesser gods twice a day. Demigods once a day.
That's to their home plane, not to go somewhere.
That's
bring something in.
Yeah, because according to there is I don't know where this was written, but I think. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, go on. I'm looking up another one.
Yeah, so I was saying that there seems to be in canon, I forgot where this was first, but it seems to be common in the Greyhawk, saying that there is some sort of agreement between the gods that they should stay away from the prime material plane, don't mess with it, so to speak, and there's some sort of gentleman agreement, and there are a few ones that breaks this. Ius is one, and Cuthbert is another one, and then you have Farlung that also wanders the plane, so to speak, but the other gods are distant, so to speak. And that seems to be one of these tropes or more or less truths or established canon kind of thing that happens. And I play it differently in my campaign though. So the gods can come and go, but they have two ways of getting in, so to speak. And one is they can project themselves in. They can use their avatar and project in. That's like that they have that cord in the back, so to speak, and they send their avatar somewhere and go to the plane. And when they do that, they open a connection back to their own plane, and that's a form of magic, so it can be detected. Other gods and creatures can have a look out and say, oh, now this god is sending, or demon lord or whatever it is sending their presence and messing about on the prime material plane. So that lures other creatures to do the same thing, and you have a big fight. But the other one is to sneak in person, so to speak, not send an avatar, go there by themselves, and then that is something they can do without risk of being detected specifically, so to speak. It doesn't leave a magical footprint, but the scary thing is then they can get killed on the prime material plane. So that is risky. So they either upset an alarm, so to speak, and can't hide really, or they take a huge risk. And that's why most deities and powerful beings, they send other agents. They use clerics, priests, necromancers, whatever, other warlocks and other cultists, and that they act through intermediaries rather than sending their avatars, so to speak. And that's how they exert their power through intermediaries of various sorts. That's how they get power, so to speak. The more clerics and worshippers and holy sites and unholy sites and so on you have, the more power. And that is also a domain, or also a form of portal, that the demon lords or the high and mighty, they can listen and see through their holy sites and unholy sites, because they have a connection back. So I try to figure out my own kind of planner physics, so to speak, in my campaign.
And everyone knows I don't have gods inner. They may be there for prayer and for power gain from priests and all. But
I very rarely use them either. But but I had to figure out why they don't show up, so to speak. So why they stay away. Yeah, and that is they don't want to get killed, or they don't want to show others what they're up to. They want to. That's why they use others to, like I use in the Gorda books, use Obmi and Keek and stuff like that, and so on, in order to, they send secret emissaries and agents and spies and critters and whatnot to do their bidding, so to speak.
All right, so let's do some more portals here.
Yep.
And Mike, what do you got?
Let's see here. We have portals on Earth. I was thinking we have one interesting. We just mentioned the demiplanes a little bit, and we have one that is very common, so to speak, is that Lysandrid guy. He is mentioned in a whole bunch of exactly. And he seems to be very prolific in creating portals of various kinds and whatnot to his demiplane, so to speak. And so maybe all kind of powerful mages have a hideout somewhere where they put their simulacrum or their clone copies and hide stuff away. But yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to get the draw mages somehow. This is underwater, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah. So then you can have it, but so that's it. Yeah. And then yeah. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say let's talk about one of those specifically from an adventure.
Yep.
Right, Return of the Eight. In Return of the Eight, you go into Tenser's castle, and also Tenser's got some things going on in here. He's got the depths, where he's got earth. He's mining earth blood, right? Which is really to make artifacts.
Earth blood, okay.
Yes, it's its location. That's why the tower is built around this area. And that you cannot teleport in or out of it. But in this little C29 right here, I can't see me point right here.
C29.
There's a portal to Luna, right? The moon.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is where you end up.
C29, I believe, is a closet.
It's a closet. Yes.
Yep.
So
it's a closet with a faraway bottom or other side, so to speak. Yeah.
Place gave us selections controlling 8 portals to Earth. Mac, I don't know. So the continue. So yeah, so that is that, and that takes you to Luna, where you find the sex change Jalarzi. Oh, I'm giving it away for everyone, and the clone of Tenser that's been turned into a Dretch. So yes, so there you go, a specific wizard with a portal there. Pretty neat.
It seems to be something that a lot of wizards have something like that in their back pocket. They have a portal somewhere or a demiplane with a portal to it.
Yeah, Tenser's one of those gatekeepers we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So not only does Return of the Eight, he has a portal to a moon, which is a great storyline and stuff, because the whole plot of that story is Igor wants to use that portal to bring her armies through Tenser's castle from other planes.
So is Luna having atmosphere and it's a place that you can live on, so to speak? Okay.
And there's ruined civilization there, if I recall.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
In the adventure path, Age of Worms, there's I don't know which issue it is, but you go and you visit Manzorian, aka Tenser, and you go to his castle, and there's a part in the adventure where you have to go to the immediate jungle, and he has this painting on the wall. And if you stare at this painting long enough, it transports you to the immediate jungle.
It's almost like that kind of butterfly effect movie. Same thing when you read something.
And if I'm right, I haven't really looked at it a long time, but in the adventure Out of the Gate, you go and you go to Tenser.
Yeah.
And Tenser gives you, he wants to send you to the alley to get the crook of Rao.
Yep.
And I remember that he opens a portal for you to go to the alley 8. And it's a workaround, because otherwise you'd have to go through Greyhawk ruins to get to the alley 8. So he created his own gate to the alley 8, but it's temporary.
Right. Yeah. And getting to that portal in Greyhawk Ruins is almost impossible, because there's a teleporter that basically takes your essence. If you don't know about that, then you got to go through all those levels. It's really crazy.
So Tenser's kind of portal happy too.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And there you have one of these kind of tropes that was common in old school adventures, really old, where you have that traps involved portals that did all sorts of nasty trick. One had I remember one created a portal. You fell into a pit, and at the bottom of that was a teleporter that teleported you up to the top one again. So you kept falling
Oh
Yeah.
no! You just
continuously.
teleport
just
Anna, you
kept-
just mentioned the Tim Ultimate Trap.
Exactly. Yeah, but I've seen that trap being used in several like
you don't keep on
adventures back
gaining
in the day.
speed though, plus 10, because you're getting teleported back to the top and physics. It's magic.
Well,
I'm not going to argue it.
Yeah, and you magically you reach
Hey, Megan.
thermal velocity of terminal velocity of like 200 feet per round or whatever. It's like you reach a certain speed and then you just keep falling and falling until something grabs you, or you use some other means of a fly spell or something to push you. Yeah, otherwise you just keep falling. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know.
But you
It's
have
like
all sorts of
ugh.
weird stuff like that. You can teleport to the plane of water, and if you don't have
It was one
water
of
breathing,
those.
you will drown.
Yeah.
There's nasty ways like that you can. There was a time back in old school when there was a lot of stuff like that being created. So if your characters weren't capable of teleporting back or something like that, there was nasty stuff like that.
So, Mike, you got one?
Yeah, let's quickly, before I forget, to talk about Ayus.
Please.
Ayus the Evil.
Yep.
There
A bunch.
maybe, I know of 2 portals. There may be more. It's a very dense book to read through. But we all know that in the capital of Dorka, he has a portal to the Abyss. And it's in his throne room, the Black Spear Chamber. You know, you can't get more epic than that.
Yep.
And what's significant about this gate to the Abyss, unlike anything else we've discussed so far, is that the Abyss, the demons and the demon lords, they love using this portal because the demons that spend time in the Prime, when they return through this portal, they get a buff. According to the book, for 1 to 100 days, these demons get buffed with stuff like bark skin, stone skin, other kind of magical effects. So them coming and going from the Prime, it helps in the blood war that demons get involved in. It's all part of the master plan.
That's one, and then what's the other
Well,
one?
real quick, I'll talk about the other one in a second, but a little further on in the book, there's one of Ayu's priestesses, Zavendra. She has a magic ring, and I did not know this, otherwise I would have used it years ago. So Zavendra has a magic ring, and she hangs around the Bluff Hills, so she's way far away from Dorka. And her ring is attuned to this gate. And it says that she can summon to her spot any demons that come through that portal. So if she just needs a random demon bodyguard, bloop, she uses her ring.
Yep.
That's crazy powerful.
It is.
I don't know how often she can use it, but it's still remarkable. Now, the other portal, just to get out of the way real quick, is in the fort or the castle of Fleischreiber.
Yep.
And I can't remember who rules that place, but there's a gate to the Abyss there, and it says it's only usable by
it's one of the it's a Kerman the Mindbender is one of the guys that runs his experiments for Ayus in that area. He does all the they try to create new stuff. That's where they worked on black trolls in my campaign and stuff like that. So
I can imagine that this gate's not like the other gate where there's not
demons pouring through.
No, it's more. I want to have it more like a top secret, high security laboratory facility, so to speak. So they kind of have probably some separate demi-plane where they do all these experiments. So if something goes haywire, they can kind of shut the portal and it will not come back to bite them.
Green, did not know that. Thanks, Casey. Good to have you on here.
Yeah, definitely.
Was Casey here when we broke that news earlier?
I don't know if he was or not, but we're going
to launch back into it.
Yeah, we were. We'll do that again at 9:45 when we do announcements. We'll talk again. Yeah.
Or Big Mac.
Double shot.
So those are the 2 abyssal gates I know of, and I use the evil. Casey might know of others. Okay, you saw. Thanks, Casey.
In my campaign, I have Ayus is moving his capital from Doraka to Halorn.
Really?
Yeah, because he wants to be a capital that is central to his empire. Now he's in one end, and he feels like he has trouble. He has the area around Doraka and up is his lands is secure. So now he wants to move it to the central location so he can get a feel for the shield lands and bandit kingdoms and the areas that he doesn't have that much control over, so he can exert his power more, so to speak. So he's in moving it to Halorn, so he's opened a special portal between Doraka and Halorn, so he can kind of move resources and building a new temple and stuff like that in Halorn, and building it out as a city.
I'm gonna ask a dumb question to both of you.
Yeah.
What has the Crook of Ral done to these portals?
For me, I like the idea of the Crook of Ral, but I don't like it that it works at an arbitrary distance and just snuffs everything out. I want to have it as an artifact that if you come and wield it, then you can kind of you can simply it's a form of it's an artifact that banish. That's how I had it, so to speak. It dispel portals and it banish back creatures at a very high rate, so to speak. It's an artifact that banish at the battlefield, and it can banish up to like several miles, and really high creatures up to a mile or so, and really powerful creatures maybe 9 or 10 miles away. That's how I had it in my book. So you can basically cast dispel magic and disjunctions and it can also cause banish at a distance, so to speak. And you can so basically you can have like a high Canon Hasten or some high priest of Rao or Palor could actually wield that thing, and once a day they can kind of cleanse an area. Then they have to move again and cleanse it again. So it is effective to some degree, but it's more symbolic. It's effective in the battlefield, but you don't win the war with it. But so therefore, and the evil ones have similar kind of ideas that they can kind of make an area evil and forego it, so to speak. So it's like a battle between evil and good. That's how I have it. And the Crook of Rao is a mighty weapon, but it's not a one cure all, so to speak, so that can work everything. But Ayus is scared of that and the power of Canon Hazen, and he doesn't want him on the battlefield, so to speak.
Oh, Odd Alley links the weird way, kind of Harry Potter-ish. Okay, there you go.
That's beyond me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably is it in the Gore books, Cathay? It probably is.
No, I don't think it was there. No, I think it's one of these things that was from the Ashes and later invention.
I don't remember it being from the Ashes.
No, then I think it's an even later invention. So it's one of these that
probably
is.
It's probably a Dragon magazine. Cathay, what's the reference for Weird Way, if you know?
And then it was explained in, I think it's
Knight Errant. There you go. Yeah, it is. It's in later.
Okay, there you go.
Yep. Yeah, cool.
So yeah,
awesome.
And then but it's interesting because they actually took it back into TSR, and Wizard of the Coast used it after Gary used it. So it's kind of interesting that, because I think it's in later editions of the game too. So
I don't think they used it to that extent.
No, but there's some. I think it's even. Hang on a second. Now I'm kind of curious here, because I'm thinking. Let's see here where we can get there.
All right, so. Couple here that stick out to me, and let me the Causeway of Fiends, Tanari and Batazu, which is demons devils rend at each other, tearing each other apart. The fiends appear to be bound at distance, however can't travel further inland. Usually a handful of fiends will appear at full moon, very rarely, perhaps once every 80 years or so. Countless numbers of lemurs, mange dredges, and at least fiends of all kinds will appear in great legions, driven on by a few greater fiends. So that Causeway of Fiends is a not unstable portal that only allows openings certain times, maybe conjunctions or whatever. It's pretty.
And the water goes up and down, tides and stuff. You have to be able to walk over.
Yeah,
and stuff. So
I like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, now I'm just saying it. Tasha's Cauldron of everything has Crook of Rao in it. So the Wizard of the Coast took in something that Gary wrote about in that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot more coming too, because we know there's a Mordenkainen book coming shortly too.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot more. So, Lizendred's Tomb is a demi-plane. There you go.
we have one portal that is very kind of epic and big in the world of Greyhawk, and that is in the Baklunish lands. You have Tobag Baragu. Yeah,
There you go.
that
Yeah.
is a kind of a one of these.
I want
really
to bring
epic-
that up as a question here. Is that
Yeah.
because it says here portal to Vecna's prison realm on the plane of Ash, Tovak Baragu. Portals to Keelan in various eras of history. It's a portal to the Pleistocene Ekbok of that world. So it's got a lot going on in it. And that's from the also in Die Vecna Die. It connects to Ravenloft. So it says could lead to anywhere really. So which one, Anna, do you think is most prominent out of that list?
I don't like Vecna much over there because to me it seems like beyond Vecna's reach and is
Okay.
natural, and maybe the Vecna and the Bakluni had some sort of hubbub going on and stuff, but to me it seems like I like to have Vecna more on the flan side of things, so to speak, on the flanny side and not over there. But I haven't used it in my campaign, so it's only like very loose ideas. I
Okay.
have it, but I kind of, and the portals to Keelan in various, to me that seems for same reason not that interesting, so to speak, to me. Maybe, but maybe for them to send spies or whatever or something like that back in Bakluni days, that might be a possibility. But I like the idea. I like the idea of a time portal in some ways. But yeah, because but time travel is, I've never used it, but I like the idea of having it. But I don't know. I haven't figured out how to use it, but I like that idea more. But in some ways, I also like the idea if you could tie it into Baklunish gods or older, even older stuff, meaning maybe the Tuvad Baragu was there before it became part of the Bakluni. Maybe it was part of the originally. So there you might have tie-ins with older Iridian gods. You can even have it as it can be part of Tharistun or whatever, so to speak. It can be a monument that is so old that it's part of ancient religions now dead. That's one way of doing it. And to me, then the time portal might just be a portal back to those temples and stuff, but the temples are kind of gone because it's been so long, and we just assume or something. Yeah, I want to play with stuff like that or something. Old Bakluni, really old pre-Bakluni and pre whatever, and something like that is something I think I would do with it.
I have an adventure on my wall of fame that goes back to the dinosaur era that I placed in Greyhawk a long time ago, but I know it's not Greyhawk, and I know its parts from the RPGA are worth thousands of dollars each, and that is I don't have an individual one on it, and that is this one smack dab in the middle. Here's my wall, Egg of the Phoenix.
Ooh,
all right, in Egg of the Phoenix, you go back way back in time.
Yeah.
So, does anyone run this besides me at the Egg of the Phoenix at all with the Tieta Falx and all those? I've only I ran it one time. It's very momentous and a rare module. I think it's Janelle Jackway's on this one too, if I recall. So yeah, you have it's pretty. Well, you know this if you've ever seen the rarest of all rare modules, the red cover, the green cover, the blue cover, all those R series. That's them all together in this Egg of the Phoenix. So, this is this you go way back in time. So just take a look at it. I remember that specifically from when Anna brought up the time travel thing here, which is pretty neat. So, and this is the real Wall of Fame, everyone. This is not the ridiculous Wall of Fame. So, down in the way, I haven't seen it in person. Being down in my basement, and she survived. So, yeah, very, very cool on that. So, let me go back to that. Let me go back here. All right, let's keep on hitting up some 10 more minutes. Let's keep on hitting up some more portals here.
We have another one that is so classic Greyhawk, and that's the stair cairns or star cairns. Sorry, yeah.
They're actual modules, Wiley. Star
that's one
Cairns.
of the-
Oh,
Yeah.
the first of the three.
Yeah.
Not as probably the least bad of the three.
Okay.
Star Cairns, Crypt of Lizard, the Mad, and Doom Grinder in that order. So, yeah, right. He saw all those. The Data Falcons, all those Bloodwild. Yeah. All right. So in the Star Cairns, it says that during critical point in their research, the first two wizards tested their findings simultaneously, creating an overlapping effect. So this is by accident. That interacted with the coincidental crash of a meteor in the Aberrals, the Cairn, and all of its inhabitants are pulled into a junction between the astral, ethereal, and prime material planes. So there's a Cairn that wanders between these planes. Very cool.
I put the crater is I put that on my map in the Cairn Hills, so the crater is now there.
Yes, you did, and it's
Yep.
And here's the funny thing. So remember, I said, "Hey, Anna, this adventuring group is using your map right there for some other adventure," and they were using that as an opening to an underground cavern, an underground tunnel. Remember, I was like, they weren't even playing Greyhawk, but they're using that as map on a live stream. It was really hysterical. Sorry, I've been working on that. Yeah, so my Wall of Fame came about very simply. My best friend who doesn't play D&D, Steve, has all his Beatles vinyl, all them up, and Rush, and the Who, and all those. I was like, why don't there's got to be a way to do that with modules. So there you go. Now some of them the guts are taken out. Like Elemental Evil, it's just too thick. And they're put in a separate place, but they're all real. There are no reprints. I use all real modules for that. So there you go. The creator is a cool idea, absolutely. Star Cairns I use to this day, and Anna, the Star Cairns, you can always add cairns, and you can always and the first another thing, the Necromancer Yellick in the first Star Cairn, it gets cloned and it comes back all the time, and you guys fought her a little while ago in an adventure. So, yeah. A lot of dollars on that wall. Don't matter. So, yep. All right, Mike, you got one? That was a good one.
Let's, we're getting down there to the really obscure
there's some good ones. It's good.
Yeah. Let me talk about one that Eric Mona created.
Oh.
Living Grog Journal #1.
Nice.
One.
That's awesome.
The Belching Vortex of Luco.
Yeah.
Oh.
So for those of you who don't like Barrier Peaks and Doom Grinder, I apologize. But Eric Mona just added more to
weird
your
stuff.
plate.
Yeah.
So it's in I forgot where it's at. I think it's in the Hestmark Highlands.
Yep, it's in the Hestmark Highlands,
and it's got this black membrane over it, and it emits this toxic gas, and you can't get through it unless you have this special card. It's like a key card. Imagine that. And the article says that once you get through the Belching Vortex, on the inside is this metal cave with all this Magitech in there, and this is where Luco got the Mighty Servant from. So you can imagine where this goes. You go in there and you can come out with a BattleTech army or something. Right?
There you go. Mm-hmm.
And the article says that from there, there's Gates to the Worlds as well.
You get there. We did a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
You could go crazy on that.
Here, so I'm gonna do another what would have been. That's pre-Paizo era, right? Living Greyhawk Journal, right? Pre-Paizo. He's not.
Oh yeah, I think
Eric's not a Paizo yet.
Yeah, especially the first.
What would have been if it had stayed there?
Right.
Greyhawk had stayed at Paizo. What would have been?
Sure.
So yeah. Here, this one is cool. This is in Greyhawk Adventures. The Tapestry of Ekbir was intended to be a gate from Ekbir to lower planes for disposal of its worst criminals. Ugh. It is rumored, however, the tapestry actually opens to a previously undiscovered plane and not one of the lower planes, so the landscape is bleak enough. So it's kind of conning you, if like in Star Trek, putting you on a bad planet. It's kind of doing that. So yeah, it'd be a good one there as well.
I can actually add to that one.
Oh yeah.
I just need to look up the link real quick, because it's an article I wrote. cannon fire.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Blackwood Citadel links to the plane of
So
shadow. That's cool there,
friendly.
Cathon. Black System Forgotten Temples linked to the demi-plane of imprisonment. Very, very cool. So we're digging deep here now.
Here it is. One of the earliest articles I wrote on Cannon Fire.
Nice. Link it.
I renamed it the Tapestry of Ruin.
Okay.
Because I thought naming after a country was kind of, it was cool for the book. Here's the link.
Awesome.
So I take that story that's in Greyhawk Adventures and I give it more flavor, and then I even add some imprisoned NPCs.
Oh, look at them! You got a lot of them in here too. Holy jeez!
Yeah, it's a whole rogues gallery of villains.
Oh,
Jazzy,
that
you're
is
the Bramble
awesome.
King.
Yeah.
I like this, Mike. I may have to steal it.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
all
cool.
this stuff that I wrote was like around the same time I was doing my Abi Dalzim stuff. So I think it all kind of ties into him. So there you go. Tapestry of Ekber.
You just gave me an idea for a sequel to our Greyhawk Adventures adventure.
All right.
Linking Abi Dalzim and maybe I got an idea. A clone of his.
Free some of them.
A clone of his is inside that.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
I need to put that down, Mike. You just gave me all sorts of bad ideas, and then I can tell Luke Gygax again, he can't use Malsacinero. Just kidding. Tapestry of Ruin, beautiful. I'm so glad of that connection. That is awesome. So, Annie, got another one?
We have one that I never played, but and a lot of people don't like. It's Belching's Beacon has a portal.
Yeah, it does. Supposedly.
I guess I never read that event.
Yeah, teleportation chamber leads to the Isle of Banburn, a volcanic mountain, and elsewhere.
Yeah, I think that's how a lot of the beacon gets its power partially.
Okay.
If I recall.
Yeah.
And that's a great adventure as well.
It just stuck out to me.
On the Wall of Fame.
Stood out to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we did Dewey Carthon. We did all those. When we talked about early on about Expedition Ruins of Greyhawk and Castle Greyhawk with all those, the most by far portals in them, a ton of them.
There's like 2 or 3 adventures that deal with that.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. So here's another one. This one, Amy, you just reminded me just by you talking there, because you got your connection of in the Sea of Dust. But we're missing the ancient Sulis documents in Greyhawk mention a magical portal named the Null. How can we forget the Null?
The Null.
My gosh. Somewhere in the Sea of Dust, a place that is universal gate to all known planes. It is said to be guarded by golems, there's guards, summoned extraplanar creatures, stone sphinxes that test the wisdom of those who would dare travel using its magic, and more. And that's from the Ashes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I had the Null on my list. But
it's all good. It's all good.
I did not read the entry.
Yeah. So that's a huge one.
Yeah, I can imagine that kind of puts it on par with Tovag Barga, right?
Yeah.
Imagine that.
But this one was probably at the height of Sul power there, right? They were using
Tovag is the only surviving thing of the Blackloon's capital.
Yeah.
So I think it was pretty old too.
Yeah.
So they both were in existence. So
probably
some power from the past. Which is
still are older, but
I know Rich is being quiet, or Rich would normally be, he may have heard about Jason, and he's decided, it could be. So, all right, wow,
we have one other that I think is kind of very Greyhawky, and that is the Malachite throne itself.
Yep.
That has connections to the hell and infernal connections that I think it's kind of cool. So in a way, I think it's some sort of portal to hell. I think you can play it in different ways, but it definitely has a connection to hell. So in some sort of portal between the throne and the infernal planes.
So Dewey Carthon just brought another one up that Rary has a connection to Plane of Shadow.
Rary has a connection.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a good one too.
He can move his whole tower too, so it's kind of
the demons moved it, or the daemons.
The daemons, yeah. He doesn't deal
Yeah.
with demons. He deals with the daemons, the Oino daemon, and all
Plane of
those.
Shadow, you just jogged my memory there, Rick. I did a homebrew Plane of Shadow gate recently. My once a month game. I put a portal to the Plane of Shadow beneath the city of Greyhawk.
That's awesome.
My friends bought an empty Wizard's Tower.
Yeah.
Found a bricked up wall in the basement. So of course they're gonna tear it down.
Astral, my bad. It's Astral. I apologize.
Like, what is that?
I have the Rift Canyon is a large part down there that's one of the biggest shadows and so there you have openings to the
that makes sense.
Veil
the Mage, yes, you're absolutely correct. Veil the Mage. Yep. My bad, that was my slip.
Veil the Mage.
Yeah, with the Plane of Shadows.
Oh yeah.
According to Dragon 418, also Dim Forest has a rift to the Plane of Shadow as well.
Yep.
Dragon
with
418.
a Shadow Dragon in it.
Really? There's a Shadow Dragon in it? Wow.
Yep. That was one that Living Greyhawk had a Shadow Dragon. I forgot the name of it. That hang on a second. I think the it's on the lair is on my map and it's Husforensis.
It's in there. Okay.
Yep, Husforensis.
He's not in the Dim Forest. He's in the Plane of Shadow.
No, the lair is there. And it's a Shadow Dragon, and he lairs there because there is a connection.
Amy just says he just appeared in her game.
Very nice. So
okay, cool.
Awesome.
Yep.
That is a great connection. I never heard of this one. Can anyone elaborate? The Tritharian's artifact, the Baton of Retribution. It says it's got. I don't know where. What's that?
You.
Oh yeah, good.
I got you.
Cool.
Keep talking.
Oh, so there we go. Another campfire link. Barren desert of purple rock and green skies, swamp of milk-colored water of red plants, features plain of gray and black, whose ground glows as it were translucent fire, and whose heavens are black and opaque. I never heard of it before, and I'm a huge Tritharian guy.
I wrote another campfire article.
Oh, look at that, Mike!
Baton of Retribution.
Oh,
did you make this up?
I took the lore and I developed it.
That's
there
awesome.
You go. That's how
so
you do it.
there you go, Jay. More evil villains for you to fight.
Beautiful.
That is awesome.
That is fantastic. And the article name is it's in a Postfest.
Postfest 6.
Postfest 6.
Yep.
All right.
What is the current Postfest or the coming? What number
20.
is that? Oh, 20.
I don't know what it is. I'm making that up. I'm not sure.
So this is from 2006. So it's
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Back when I had ideas.
So everyone who's new, in particular Northern Lights, you see, this is what happens with these discussions: is you find stuff out you don't know, and you can make connections, and you find out lore that is out there you're just not aware of, and that's the awesome thing.
Just something real insignificant like a Tapestry of Ruin or a Baton of Retribution could lead to a whole new article.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put some
one little sentence somewhere in one of the books can spur you to great inspiration.
Absolutely. One paragraph from the ashes. I've done that with Varnafane, as an example. We've all had our moments, and that's where the community comes together. The community makes us all better with our lore. So List of questions, articles, contributions to that topic by Rick Van Wormer. Okay, cool, man. Thank you very much there, Mac. So, why don't we wrap this up here and just a final thought on portals, and then we'll go into our unfortunate news and shout outs and stuff. So, final thoughts on this portals discussion. I mean, we could probably do a part 2 on this or go really into
I have a final thought.
Go for it. Real
simple. If anyone says that the World of Greyhawk is a low magic setting, link them to this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah, you have tons of it. So and portals are so much fun and should be they should be a natural one of the pillars in a fantasy campaign.
Wiley.
Yeah, big time, Wiley. Bad stuff, Wiley. So very cool. And Anna, your final thought on this?
I was just going to say it's one of the pillars. It's one of the really great tools you can use for a campaign, good campaign is portals and gates and summoning and planar travel in various different shapes and forms, and gates is one of or portals is one of the cool forms that it can take.
And a final note on these, and you've seen these scrolling through, is that Reaper's got a great magical portal, and I've been showing.
Oh yes, I saw
that
picture.
Builder Master Crafter. We illuminated that with a colored tea light behind it.
Yeah.
As you can see, a little bit of the picture there. Really a great piece.
Looks fantastic.
Yeah, and you can really, use different colors and make it pulse and all with just a special LED tea light. So.
And early versions of Manual of the Planes have different colors for different. So if you want to, you can develop your color scheme that so someone that has knowledge planes or some appropriate skill or feat can actually kind of figure out where they're going with some precision, so to speak, and stuff. So you can kind of tweak and you can start creating some planar lore for your campaign, so you can figure out how it works, or what characters can figure out. Can they figure out where it's leading without stepping through it or not, so to speak? And what does it take to do it? Does it take to destroy it and dispel it, or however you want to do it?
So this portal is actually, and this is on the map, and this is the low road that Rich and David Leonard have worked on. Goes right underneath this, and that was part of the reason for this adventure so long ago. And this is an older version of it. As you can see, the back there, it's more of an arch, because back when we didn't have that piece from Reaper, this is the Hearthguard Tower. So, which we talk about all the time in the Mike Disney Scarring adventures and stuff. And like I said, there's a link, and this is all deep into my Lortmo Mountain lore here, and that's kind of it before we really got in depth with some other things. So, just wanted to share that with you all. That I have portals in my own lore here, but we don't need to go into the weeds too much on that tonight here. So, yeah, it's all right. It's all right, Wiley. Thank you, Pat. I do have that information. I announced it earlier in the show. Gaetano linked me the stuff. I went to his house today. So the story goes, we were all concerned he didn't show up for Legends and Lore last week, and turns out that's the day he passed. And then so I was making a travel down to Delaware. I stopped at his house, knocked on the door, rang the doorbell. There was no answer. There was actually a package leaning against the door on the step next to the door for him. My guess is that his mother went to live with one of the siblings, because I know he was taking care of his mother a little bit. I missed it by a week, but we didn't know, at that point. It sounds like he went past suddenly. We'll try and find out some details.
Yeah,
there. It's sad, and Lay Kim also passed on Christmas, if you knew him, as well. So we had two passings in the last week. Within 3 days of each other. Yeah, it's a real shame. Jason was a regular on a lot of Legends and Lores, and Gabbins. He appeared. My guess is he appeared over a dozen times on a lot of our talk shows, and did the Index. And like I said, Leia Kim was well known for wanting to fireball everything, which is kind of amusing. So I will pay an homage to him tomorrow night. I got to think about more what I'm going to do about Jason with that.
Yeah.
But we'll discuss that. And it's real sad, but note. There'll be a lot of talk on Campfire afterwards tonight, and there'll be a lot of discussion on what we're going to do as the days go on. So it is sad news. It is sad news to lose people in your community, but just note that they both made contributions, and they both will be missed. But the rest of us need to honor them. Honor them, and do the best we can and continue forward. So sad to say. All right, let's do some quickie shout outs here. Mike, what is going on for the rest of the year or into 2022?
Rest of the year?
Yeah, or 2022.
Well, I always keep saying, Gary Con's all I'm looking forward to.
Yes.
I'm doing D&D related stuff 2 or 3 times a week, so it's not too shabby.
Awesome.
I mean, I'm doing these shows and got a couple game groups. Just normal.
Got a lot going on, man.
Normal stuff. No projects outside that, though.
A lot going on. So I will link Mike's blog, and note we get a lot of show ideas from the blog to this day. As I think
or
even
today, Cannon Fire.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know David Leonard was poking around, looking through stuff now too, and going, "Oh, look at this one," right? So, which is really cool.
I hope someone finds something on the blog that inspires them to take off with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
That's what it's there for, and please utilize it. So, Anna, what's up?
I just posted today the first public full preview of the 2022 edition of the Flannies and Hipponaland map. So I can post the link here. So it's there's a JPEG 270 megabyte, or there's an easy zoom. I uploaded it to easy zoom, so you can just look at it in the browser and go over it. So there is a link to it. There will be new versions, updated versions of this map, probably about once a week. So if the link doesn't work, because this link might work for another couple of weeks, then because I don't have unlimited space, so I delete the older version. So I keep the 2 latest versions and then I delete them. Then you have to go to my Patreon blog or my website or something like that, pick up the newest link, or Flannies Geographical Society or something, because I'll post new links as they come out, so to speak, because I'm updating it. But this is the first one that has the proper credits and has all the frills, so to speak, and stuff like that.
I'm loving Southern Hipmonaland, because my South Seas map, I ran out of room on the physical paper I drew it on.
Yeah.
And so I never drew the southern part of Hipmonaland. And now you've got it in extreme detail.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. It's I would say it's about 95% complete, so to speak. I have a couple of things that I need to fix on the terrain map, but they're very, very few.
More to be done.
Yeah, and then I have about 105 items on my map to-do list, but I don't know that there's a lot of them that I can probably skip 30 of them, because they're kind of weird things that ended up in that Evernote folder for no reason, so to speak. I picked the easy ones so far, but there are some, and thanks to all the kind of sharp-eyed, I got one comment today saying that the March of Sterish should be the Earldom of Sterish, or whatever it was. There was something wrong with that one. So I need to look into that too, and so it's good. That this is the good thing now. If you see something, comment or send me a contact on comment on it in Flannies Geographical Society. Go to my web page or send me a contact form or something like that. I know I'm behind. There's people who've sent me emails and stuff the last couple of weeks, and there was some earlier problem with my website. So I found that there were some emails sent to me a couple of months ago, so I need to respond to them too. So there was something wrong with my contact form. So they ended up in a log file, but I have them, so I'm going to respond to them. So that is the big thing going on. There is more heraldry coming too, because there's some of the heraldry that is in Hipmonaland that I'm doing other versions of, so to speak. So that is coming too. And then there will be two versions of my yearly summary, kind of looking forward to 2022. What's coming. So there will probably be one about what kind of map projects and map stuff. One talking about the maps and stuff. The other one will be one where I talk about deep dive into the technology side of things. And that one will probably be for my $5 patrons, exclusive, so to speak. So I will make an exclusive for them where I talk about some of the technology, some of the technical stuff, so to speak, that I'm getting into. And that will there be sundered Hember? That is an interesting question, David, and there might be, so to speak. If someone points out to me, and we'll see what we can do next year. That's an interesting stuff to dig into. So, yep, that's kind of awesome. So yeah, so there is a bunch. I've started writing on it, and there's some hopefully really cool stuff coming next year, so to speak. And there will be something that Jay and me might work on something too. So we'll see. Yeah. Yep.
We'll keep that as a secret for the time being.
So we can work
that goes
on
official.
First, we have the heraldry to do too.
Yes,
so
I have 6 done. 6 so far.
Oh, cool! Awesome.
Yeah, yep. I think I shared most of them with you. So
and one of the tips that I wrote about that Meyerhawk will get a thorough shake-up, so to speak, next year, because I need to get ready if, well, we'll say if, because we can't be sure about anything happening in pandemic times like this, but if there will be a D&D castle in England in October, I need to be well prepped, and that's why I'm going to create a whole bunch of stuff. So that will be coming in probably about summer and fall, and all of it will be released after I've been to England. So I need to prep and do a lot of that work will be done in summer, but a lot of it will come out before, like a lot of heraldry and stuff like that. But some of the locations, some of the stories and stuff will come after I've played and had fun with a week with my players, and we've had a chance to play through some scenarios and a campaign set in the Shieldlands in 598, 599. So it will be a kind of a continuum and a high-powered version of the one I'm running for my players now. So it will tie into that story, but it will be a canned version, supposed to be run over 5 sessions, I think it is. 5 like 8-hour sessions in a week, during a week. And that will be a lot of fun. So I plan to have some couple of 1,000 square mile of map and probably about 10 or 15 settlements done. I have 6 of them already, and that will add roughly equal amount of, and there's a whole bunch of backstory and stuff being developed. So that is one of the thing that I will talk a little bit about in my yearly summary and stuff. But there's some other stuff that I haven't talked about yet that is coming too.
Awesome.
Yep.
And you see Anna tomorrow night too. I'll talk about that
Mm-hmm.
shortly.
Yep.
So here we go. What's going on the rest of the year and into 2022? Tomorrow night. All right, a game. I may have 1 or 2 of my regulars now because, they told me none of them were coming, and now all of a sudden 1 or 2 of them may. We'll see. But tomorrow night, Portents of a Great Apocalypse. My remaking of this, tied in with Len Lacoste. I'm sorry, let me pause it. Tied in with Ed Greenwood, new story arc that he gave us with his discussions from Gary Gygax at Gen Con on a demigoddessy idea he was working on. This is all part of this prelude of that entire chain. So I got Anna, I got Mike Disney, Little Bones, Darling Creepshow, Tea Time with Taryn playing characters, and it'll be out in the Cairn Hills near Fort Lamont, which is where the group of adventurers will be stationed at. That will be playing. So that'll be which is not far from where the Doom Grinder is. And also STL files from Infinite Dimension Games tomorrow night, including a really large grouping of a really nice one, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. So that is tomorrow night, and then 2022 will hit, and then we'll be doing for Gavin on Sunday. We'll be doing the year in review. We'll have some other guests on. I'm trying to, Chuck Cumbo is probably coming on from Troller Games at least, and we'll go from there, and we'll talk about the entire year, what's going on. Lots of things happened this year in 2021. We'll concentrate on the positives. We'll concentrate on a lot of things that happened early on with Gary Con, and everyone forgets, man, we had our own channel on Gary Con in 2021, which was really awesome for 4 straight days, 24 hours. A lot of you participated. We'll talk about a lot of that stuff and some things that happened in my campaign and things that we have set coming up. It was a wonderful year. What's coming up in 2022? All right, first thing, the ever mysterious Tim. These are big things. We don't know what we're running yet for Legend of Lore. We got to figure that out, right, Mike? We'll figure out the topic for that coming up here. But Saturday, January 8th, Tim's The Underdogs, Rovers of the Barrens, Barbarian Campaign, Wilderness of Pain 2, Saturday morning, 9 a.m. All right, so I have something every Saturday in January now. It's going to be crazy. So, oh yeah, Casey, you're back in. Well, that's good to hear, man. It's good to hear. So the ever mysterious Tim will be cranking out and killing people like he always does. Then a huge one on the 15th, Ed Greenwood, Tony Winslow Burrell, Eric Boyd, Eric Mengi, and maybe a super other special guest. Anna's in it too. And that'll be the 2 drink minimum is back. The adventuring group. The 3rd time Ed Greenwood and his crew will be playing in my game. Ed's playing a Greyhawk mage, the ironies of it all, and that'll be Saturday, January 15th. Now the 22nd, I may have a crafting D&D game with the vice president of My Favorite Mini is actually going to be playing in the group with Mike Disney and Moonlight Minis, Christine Van Patten, the Master Crafter, and that's going to be a Saturday morning game. That's not finalized yet. That's working on the 22nd. And the 29th, we have the return of the Slav Squad, and that'll be at Mandy, Little Bones, MJ, Russell, Myriad, Darling Creepshow. That'll be a fun one. And so we got a lot going on in January. I am excited about 2022. I had some bad news today, but yes, Slav Squad, yes. But yeah, you get to play. We'll see Devin and we'll see Rosie tomorrow night in the game tomorrow night, which will be a tie-in to the lore I'm recreating to get rid of the Doom Grinder and its awfulness, and some other things. So let's hopefully, with the exception of some bad news, let's give away the giveaways. Now remember that we're doing 3. I'm going to close it out in about 30 seconds. Your options are the following. There's one full brand new print of the Troller Games brand new Castle Keeper guide with the Efreet on the cover with shipping from Troller Games. That's the big one. There was one left over from last Friday's great stream, and we're giving that out as the bonus. And then we'll either do this Venture Begins and Morning Canaans, or Treasure the Greyhawk and Show Camp. So some goodies going out today. Sound good? I'm going to hit the wrong button. You know it. I always do. Ready? I'm going to close it out. And so...
and only do it once today. So.
Only do it once. You must tell me what you want. Here we go. The first winner. Plus 10 Broadsword.
Oh.
Congrats. A new name.
Yeah.
A new name to the winners.
That's done.
So very active today too.
Yes.
A lot of good comments. Yep.
Yes. But I don't.
I think he had plus 10 to that roll as well.
Yeah, exactly. You see, it pays off to have a plus 10. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let me get with him. Second winner here is they just left. That's funny. I must hit complete again. Holy shit. Bogart 34.
And now you unplugged yourself too. So yep. And now he can't hear anything. So come on.
That's great.
I did it again, Bogart.
Yes, you got to over.
Bogart, you tell me which of these two you want, if you don't care. Yeah, can you hear me now? Thanks, I needed that.
Yep, we can hear you now perfectly.
Yeah,
yep.
Last one.
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
Well,
Jay unplugged.
You.
Yep.
I'm unplugged all the time.
Yeah,
Doc left. Doc said redraw for him, so and he was kind enough to say that. No, I got enough wireless stuff going around here. Geek Puppet. Congrats, Geek Puppet. So we got Bogart, we got
awesome.
We got plus 10 Broadsword, and we got Geek Puppet. So let me see. And we're gonna raid into Prometheus. First time I've ever raided into him. Dwayne, he's a good guy. So Bogart 34. And is Geek Puppet on there? I think he is. That I supposed to. Oh yeah, my take is a long term. So Geek, Geek, do either of you care? Geek, do you want me to send you? Remember, I need your name and addresses. If I don't have them, Geek Puppet and Bogart 34. So I need your names and addresses. Now, Mac, I just raided into Stella like a week ago. I'm gonna raid into Prometheus tonight. I'm gonna raid into Dwayne. I've never raided into Dwayne before. So Bogart, went first. I'm gonna give you this Showcanth and Treasures, and Geek Puppet. I'm going to give you these two, if that's okay. All right. Adventure Begins and Morning Canaan's Fantastic Adventure. Sound good? All right. Does that sound good to you both? So I'm just marking this down so I know. And if there's a problem, let me know. But I think I got both of yours. So, all right. You can read. No, I'm gonna rate into to a community, a great community member. So okay, good. Thank you. Just send me name and address, please, if I don't have it. You can whisper it to me here. You can Discord it to me. Either one of you. I may have yours, Bogart, but if I don't, let me please send it to me. All right, I'll get these right out. So sound good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Please, say a little prayer for Lake Kim and Jason, and yeah. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I'm a big fan of what there, Rich. Uh-oh. What's Rich saying?
Yeah, you don't talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So we will.
Thanks, Tristan.
Okay. All right, let's raid into them, and I'll see you tomorrow night for a great game with a really interesting mixed group of characters, and there'll be some it'll be difficult and challenging, and have some interactions. It'll be fun, and I really enjoyed everyone's company tonight, and what a great crowd we have had on. We still have over 100 people on. Let's raid into say something nice to Dwayne. He's doing something really interesting too, which it's setting up. He's playing Greyhawk using Neverwinter Nights, which I didn't know you could do.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see it. Sit tight. I'm going to set up the raid. We will see you tomorrow evening, 7:30 Eastern, all right? 7:30 EST for a fun game with some more giveaways too. 85, that's awesome. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you tomorrow night. Thank you. Let's see this.